Hey, I'm Matt Wright from Turbosmart and we're here at SEMA 2025. Turbosmart's been coming here to SEMA for over 20 years now. We come to this show because it is the biggest and best automotive aftermarket parts show in all of the United States. Everyone is at this show, and for us being an Australian company, it's really important to be seen on the world stage. Lots of products on display, wastegates, blow-off valves, fuel pressure regs, but also now, for the last couple of years, Turbosmart turbos have been the centerpiece of everything that we do. So we often launch new products at SEMA. It's a good time of year. We've got our lock sleeve turbo outlet adapter here. So what this is a no-weld adapter for the outlet of your turbo compressor cover. This is actually something that just came about in-house from experience. So once we started selling turbos, it happens. People will overspin a turbo. You'll have something that goes through the turbo, the track. If you've welded on the compressor cover, what you find is give you a supercore to replace it right there and then at the track. But if you don't have a compressor cover that's got a welded outlet on it, it doesn't really help you. As soon as you weld on that cover, you are locked in to that cover. We came up with this design here more out of necessity for ourselves, which is basically, it's a three-piece design. Got the first half, we've got split ring, an O-ring, and then another split ring. And then the outlet clamp goes on. So that goes in, and that will tighten up. And so that's going to provide you a seal that will hold over 100 psi boost. So it's as good as a weld, except for you didn't have to weld it. You can do it in 15 seconds. The cover never needed to come off. And so one of the other things you find is once you pull the cover off, and you have to do this in situ, the cover's got to come on and off in the vehicle. When you go and try and put this back together in the car, there's one bolt under here that you can't get to or ever nip up properly. Don't have to worry about that again. This is a 90-degree version of the same thing. It goes together identically. We've got an outlet clamp. This is set up specifically for a vibrant clamp. We've got plasma man clamps. We've also got silicon couplers as well. But the way this all actually goes together, this actually threads, this adapter will thread onto a cast pipe there. So we can actually vary what outputs you have on the one bend there. And eventually we'll have more designs as the requirement comes, different turbos, different outlets, different clamps. They're all obviously in the future. For now we wanted to get something into the market there, so these fit specifically onto our compressor covers. We'll work on a range of covers for different turbo manufacturers as well. It's been really well received. Everyone that we've shown them to has basically said the same thing, which is why couldn't I have this yesterday? So we're pretty excited for it. Should be able to get that off our website and through our distributors in December sometime. We've sold inline fuel filters forever, and we decided, it'd be really good if we had our own filter that you didn't actually have to take the lines off. Just developed our own canister style fuel filter. So the canister just comes off the bottom. You don't need to undo the lines. Really simple, replaceable stainless element on the inside. But it didn't take like 35 seconds before someone saw the first one coming off the machine to go, wait a minute, we do fuel pressure regs. That'd fit on the top of that. Of course, the thing that then came out, well, hang on, how are we going to filter the fuel going in? We really want to filter the fuel before it gets to the reg. So what actually happens in the top here is into the reg, through the filter, out to the rail, back into the canister, and straight through and back to the tank. So it's pretty simple, 2 lines up from the tank, 2 lines out to the rail. You never need to touch them once they're done up, because to replace the filter, you just screw off the canister on the bottom, no tools required. So again, something that came a little bit out of necessity, but you think you're doing a EFI conversion, or you're putting a newer engine into an old car that used to be carby or something, where you've got a new pump in the back, run new lines up to the front, 2 lines in, one out to the rail, done. The thing just bolts onto the firewall. Happy days. The top of it is basically identical to each of our FPRs. So obviously we've got FPR 8, 10, 12, the different line sizes. But internal to that, they've got a different diaphragm, a different valve and seat design. And so they are actually designed to match the fitting size. So FPR 8 will have the valve and seat design for an FPR 8. A 10 will have the valve and seat design for an FPR 10. So the valve and seat design in any FPR, it varies by the size of the line, because that's the volume of fuel that it needs to return to the tank. So it is, they are specific to the size of the line coming in out of the thing. So the new Turbosmart Boost Hub. So what the Boost Hub is basically, it's a single source of control and command for all of your external devices on a car that does not have a standalone ECU. So you've got a more modern car, you've reflashed it, you've gone more boost, you've gone a water methanol kit, you might have another pump, and you might have an additional oil cooling fan or oil pump or something like that. It's running on its own. And then you've got your boost controller and it's running on its own. And then you've got a separate thermofan for oil temperature or transmission temperature, it's running on its own. None of those systems work together. What you really might want to do is say, well, when my water methanol level gets below 10%, drop my boost from my normal target down by 10 pounds. So what the Boost Hub allows you to do is aggregate and bring in information from 6 different inputs. So it might be the level sensor from your water meth kit, it might be an EGT sensor, it might be a pressure sensor, temperature sensor, ethanol content sensor. It's going to bring that into the Boost Hub. Then we've got an app that allows you to set up your own command and control strategies. So you say, well, yeah, once the temperature gets above 90 degrees and the ethanol content gets above 60%, then I want to go from boost group 2 to boost group 3. So it's going to output a signal over to your e-boost to say, change boost groups. It doesn't need to be an e-boost. It could be any boost controller that's got multiple levels. You say, go to level 1, level 2, level 3. The other thing that the Boost Hub allows you to do is bring in information. You know it's got an OBD2 port on there. You can actually pull data from a factory OBD2 bus. So the simple stuff, you're bringing in RPM, you might be bringing in coolant temperature, you might be bringing in transmission temperature. Any information that's on the factory OBD2 bus, bring that into the Boost Hub, as well as the other information coming in from your external sensors, your water methanol kit, your EGT. Do all of your command and control in the app. Turn on that thermofan, change the boost group. Okay, engine's not up to temp yet. Until it gets to 88 degrees Celsius, don't go to high boost. Once you get 88 degrees Celsius and your ethanol content's above 60%, go to the highest boost level, or whatever you like. You can set all that up in the app. You've got 6 inputs, 4 outputs, plus the OBD2 input. That all comes together into one central command and control hub, the Boost Hub. You do all your controls through the phone app, so it's all fully programmable. Bring in a sensor, set it up in the phone, tell it what kind of sensor it is. It's an AVI, it's a pressure sensor, this is the pressure range, and give it a name. Then you can use that in your control strategies. So you can set up with this temperature and this pressure and this data, do something, turn on an output, 4 different outputs that you can play with there. It's definitely going to integrate really nicely with our eBoost 3. It can send data from the Boost Hub into the eBoost 3. We can change the boost groups, we can do all that sort of stuff in the eBoost 3 as well. So it integrates really nicely with our electronics, but I must stress, it's not actually specifically designed for the eBoost 3. You can use it with any boost controller. I think this is going to find a market in more than just the performance gasoline or petrol engine, and there's probably a really good market in the four-wheel drive and off-road market as well. It runs on an Apple and an Android, which means you do get some integration with things like CarPlay and Android Auto as well. So because it's an app on a phone, if you've got Android Auto, you'll be able to actually make changes through the Android Auto interface in your dash if you're running it. So it's going to be super interesting to see where it goes.